Hey guys, James here again with another video. And as you might be able to tell, today we're gonna be playing something a little bit new. Of course, I'm talking about Sid Meier's Civilization 7. Of course, got to give a big thank you to the fine folks at 2K and for Access for sponsoring this video, and for sending me a free copy of the Founders Edition to try out early. Civ 7 comes out on PC and consoles on February 11th, so if at any time during the video you think to yourself, hey, this game seems pretty cool, click on the link down below to get your copy today. But alright, this is going to be my Let's Learn Civ 7 Together tutorial series, and really the purpose of this video is to learn the game together, explore the new and different mechanics, as well as just joining me as we try to build an empire that stands the test of time. And of course, before I get too far into the game, let's meet the leader who's going to guide our empire through the ages, Benjamin Franklin. Alright, so my boy Ben Frank here, of course, very scientific guy, makes a lot of sense if you know the history, +1 science per age on production buildings and cities, plus 50% production towards constructing production buildings, +1 science per age from active endeavors, and endeavors are essentially a diplomatic action you can take. And you can also have 2 endeavors of the same type active at a time. So just looking at this, obviously science victory is a good one to go for. Having the additional bonus towards production as well as the science boost could also be pretty good for military, I could see. And then, of course, with endeavors, I could definitely see us going a bit into a diplomatic playstyle as well. So definitely a lot of options we have here with Benjamin Franklin. So it might seem a little weird, but we are playing as the Mayan Empire. So the Mayan Empire also very science focused. And of course, one thing I do have to highlight here, which might seem a little bit different from past games, is now there's going to be 3 distinct ages that you can play through: the Age of Antiquity, the Age of Exploration, and the Modern Age. And each age has its own exclusive set of historic civilizations that you can choose from. And your empire is going to be constantly evolving as you build on different layers, taking on legacies from the past, and then also advancing into the future with whoever you choose. Obviously, as the series goes on, we'll show you more of that. But for now, we are playing as the Mayan Empire. The palace gains half a science for adjacent vegetated terrain, which I assume are, like these trees and everything here. Then we get plus 30% production towards constructing a Mundo Perdido, which is a wonder, I believe. I think every Civ pretty much gets a production bonus towards one wonder in the game. Then we have 2 unique units: the Hulche, which is our unique ranged unit. We can see through vegetation and ignore movement penalties. And then we have a Jaguar Slayer, a unique scout which can initiate combat and can place a Jaguar trap that is invisible to enemy units, dealing 25 damage and ending movement. It recharges 5 turns after placing a trap. Ooh, that sounds fun. Then, of course, we have the Maya Unique Quarter, which is created by constructing these 2 buildings in the same district. Well, we'll explain a little bit more of that soon. But every time you research technology, the settlement gains production equal to 15% of its cost, which I'm assuming is the technology. Then we have 2 unique buildings: the Jala, which gives +3 happiness and +1 culture adjacency for quarters and wonders. And then we have the Kuna, another science unique building, +3 science as a base, with +2 additional science if placed on vegetation, and an additional 1 science per adjacency for wonders. Alright, very cool. Very cool. Finally, something to get into are mementos. Mementos are essentially a form of meta progression in the game, where as you play the game, you get different achievements, you do certain things, you unlock different stuff, and these essentially are some of the things you can unlock, which are called mementos. You choose them at the beginning of the game, and they give you small little boosts that can really give you a bit of a head start in different ways. Let's check some of these out real quick. I have 1 expansionist attribute point, as well as 1 scientific attribute point. So attributes are essentially these different branches, these different skill trees, I guess you could say, where you can essentially evolve your leader, allowing him to carry things over the ages, depending on how your playstyle is, what kind of victory you might be going for. I went with the expansionist one just because I really like getting settlers out quicker, and 25% production towards settlers is quite a lot, I feel like. Then, of course, we have the scientific attribute, which gives us +1 science per age on the palace and city halls. City halls are essentially the city centers for the different towns we're going to set up in the future. So let's get into this. Right off the bat, we have our founder. And of course, let me also turn on the hex grid and the resources, as well as the yields just for now. Although I actually play without yields, at least so far, just because of I feel like the game feels a little bit different in a way, where you don't necessarily need to be looking at all the yields all the time. I think I'm fine settling in place here. We do have a couple resources within a couple tiles of our center. Also here we have some, vegetation around us, which gives us some different boosts, right? So I think I'm comfortable just settling in place for now. And of course, we found Bach. So Bach is our capital. And let's start off by making a Jaguar Slayer, which is our scout. Only one turn, which is really nice. And of course, our Jaguar Slayer is done. And so down here, we actually do have a luxurious encampment. These encampments, as well as now ruins and caves, are essentially the equivalent of the goody huts in the past. So let's start moving our Jaguar Slayer that way. Next, let's pick a technology. Given what's around us, Cowlin and incense, pottery might not be a bad one, I think. I think those are both plantations. Although actually maybe this might be like a mine. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like food though, right? Also another good one might be the animal husbandry, just to get our Hulche out a little bit quicker. So I think I'm actually going to go with that for now. Get a couple units out early. And we'll go from there. Of course, let's produce another Jaguar Slayer. I think would be nice. Try to explore the north with that one. And let's see next turn. Alright, so very quickly, our city has already grown. So one major change here is a change to how borders expand, how growth is handled, as well as the elimination of builders. So what you see here is that once you gain population, it allows you to expand your borders. What's going to happen is I can choose one tile that I want to expand to, and that'll also expand our borders. And so as you can see here, it says add an improvement to the side there. So what's going to happen is, depending on what I pick, it's going to add an improvement automatically. And again, just no more need for builders, as the improvement is added as our city expands, making it feel quite natural, I feel like. Just, as your population grows, your city is going to grow with it. So what I'm thinking for now is either expanding this way towards the incense or expanding this way to the Cowlin. The Cowlin for the food might be pretty good, although I don't love these two tiles here, per se. But you know what? For the science, let's go ahead and expand this way and get ourselves a woodcutter here. And as you can see, instantly expanded over towards that Cowlin. Let's also move this Jaguar Slayer. And another thing you'll notice is a lot more player choice. You'll see it in different ways, but here we have a narrative event. A party of noblemen has had a successful hunt. They instruct their servants to leave what they cannot carry, but there's no shortage of hungry mouths back home. So we can either get plus 20 food and plus 50 gold, or we can get plus 75 happiness. Happiness makes a return, but it's definitely different from the past. We'll explain that a little bit later when it does eventually happen. But I think for now, I'm just going to take the food and gold. I think you can't go wrong with that early game. That's it next turn. Alright, just like that, our city's grown again. I think we're going to take this Cowlin, some more food and science. Definitely very different from what I've seen in some other playthroughs where, it's a lot of like production early on. So definitely an interesting dynamic here that we're seeing. But so, some additional food for now. And so what that essentially is going to do, now that we've worked this resource and we built a quarry there, what's going to happen is we can actually now assign resources to cities. Then you're going to see later on, there's different kinds of resources. City resources, which I think are essentially the equivalent of luxuries now, or what luxuries used to be. Bonus resources, as well as empire resources, which apply across your entire empire. But here you can see Cowlin gives plus 2 food to the capital and plus 4 food to any other city. For now, we'll just put it in the capital. Meanwhile, this guy, let's just explore a little slowly here. And let's take this moment to actually maybe try out one of the scout's abilities. So here we can increase our sight range by plus 1 for 1 turn and reveal all discoveries within twice this range. So what's going to happen is if I click that, it's going to expand our vision. And it looks like we found a campfire and a ruin here. I'm going to say we head towards this ruin, I think, with that guy. And maybe we send the other scout this way. We'll see. Oh, looks like we've met our first independent civ, Teotihuacan. Very interesting. We can move over. All right, so another big thing that they added to the game that I do want to show you guys. As you can see, there's these big river tiles. I don't think I've seen any small tiles yet, but essentially these big river tiles are navigable rivers. When you go onto them, your unit has to embark onto them, and they'll be able to move along the river quicker. So let's just keep moving along the river for now with this guy, heading towards a little bit of a lake area here, and let's be ready to head over to that ruin very shortly. All right, I think this turn we can hit that. So let's see. Either spend a turn of science to get some happiness towards a celebration, or we can get 30 culture right off the bat. I think I'm going to take the culture. I definitely want to start hitting that culture tree a little bit more. And I'm not overly concerned about celebrations quite yet. So let's do that.
The caged bird watches butterflies with envy.
All right, quite the dramatic reading from Gwendolyn Christie right there. Let's see if that campfire is still there. Yeah, it is. Let's head that way for now. And meanwhile here, let's get pottery. All right, so let me show you the tree real quick. So the tech tree, very familiar, of course. And you might notice, though, there are these things that are called masteries. Masteries essentially are almost like secondary technologies you can unlock when you unlock the first level. So, for example, here, if we get writing 1, it unlocks writing 2, which gives additional stuff. They're totally optional, but can give you nice boosts and things that you might need. For now, though, let's get pottery, I think. Meanwhile, back at home, looks like our Jaguar guy is ready, and a enemy scout is here. So let's hurt this guy. You know, our scout can attack, and he can't fight back. So we're kind of bullying him a little bit. And of course, you'll see that here, continued fighting animations, which is really cool, and our dog's even barking. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit though, just for the audio balance. Meanwhile, here, so what we have here are two different warehouse buildings. Essentially, warehouse buildings are buildings that give you additional yields on top of the different improvements you might already have. So, for example, here for the granary, you get +1 food on farms, pastures, and plantations. And with the saw pit, you get +1 production on camps and woodcutters. Since we don't have any farms or anything yet, I'm going to say we go with the saw pit for now. It's only 6 turns as well, so I think that's a pretty good investment for us. I guess I'll put it here for now. I'm fine with that. Yeah, you better run. So, let's continue our exploration with this guy. Let's grow our city once again. So with this one, I'm thinking we just keep getting more science and happiness. I think that's pretty good. So let's get this. Also gets us towards that iron over there. We can finally get our first civic. So one big thing for the civics that you can see, one, we have these age-specific civics. Again, very familiar if you played Civ 6. But also we have what are unique civics to each civilization. I'm a big fan of this. I think it just helps give each civilization more of a unique feel, a unique identity. So here's where we can unlock the different unique buildings we have, as well as different little bonuses that we might be able to get. For now, though, I'm thinking we get mysticism because that helps us get into our pantheon. Yeah, I think that's a good choice. And all right, so we can now choose our first government. Government is essentially where happiness comes into play. So unlike previously where you had all those different policies you could enact within the government, here governments are simplified a lot more. You basically pick one which you want, and from there, whenever you get a certain amount of happiness, once you hit a certain threshold of excess happiness, it allows you to have a celebration, which allows you to then to choose one of these bonuses. Just based on who we are with the science and the production, I think that's a good choice. Oligarchy is also not a bad choice. Again, food just seems good in general because, again, it expands your borders and everything. But for now, let's go with despotism. And now we have social policies for our government. Again, very much simplified compared to Civ 6. Here we can get +1 production and science on the palace. Let's do that. Where do I want culture? I feel like we can get a lot of potential science, actually, so maybe let's go with the culture for now. And, of course, let's keep moving this Jaguar. And we'll hit next turn. Wow, this guy's just looping around, going in circles. I'm just going to attack him, get him out of our hair. Yeah, chase him. Oh, it was perfect time for me to try out that tiger trap, but it's okay. Sorry, jaguar trap. Let's keep moving here. All right, so here we've met Serta, another independent people. They're a little hostile to us. I'm not 100% sure why certain ones are hostile and which certain ones are friendly to us to begin with. I think it's maybe based on the type of civ that you are, but I could be wrong. So let's move up here and try to hit that campfire. And meanwhile here, I say we get to this place and then maybe we try to see if there's any other ruins or anything around there with the ability.
All are made of clay.
All right, so now that we've finished pottery, I'm thinking we head towards writing. Might be good for our science output to start with writing. Meanwhile, back at home, I think we start producing a settler. 4 turns is not bad at all. And of course, with our jaguar, we hit the campfire here. A group of dancers has withdrawn to the wilderness to focus on their craft. They stretch their bodies as they reach for perfection. Those who touch it become legends. So, do we want gold or culture and happiness? I'm thinking we take the culture and happiness. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's move a tile here. And then let's again use our ability search, see if we can find any discoveries in range here. Alright, looks like one over there, so let's definitely head that way with this guy. Actually, I'm going to cancel that because I just want to move them manually. And similar with this guy, let's move him up this way, and maybe a little bit further before we use the ability again. Let's move up. So far, I haven't met any civs, though, although I don't... Oh, yeah, that's Teoteo Khan right there. Okay, so we're good there. Alright, let's move maybe one tile this way. And let's search again, see what we can find. Alright, so ruin right there we can grab quickly, and then wreckage over there. No problem. Moving this guy up as well. And we'll hit next turn. Our Jaguar Slayer can go here. Discontented subjects of a departed lord have disturbed his tomb. They haul out the riches buried within with him. Tribute stolen from their own chapped hands. We want gold or culture? So I think with culture, we pretty much finished mysticism right there. So I think I'm going to go with the culture for now.
There is another world, but it is in this one.
And again, every time you unlock a civic, you can change your policies. I think I'm fine with the culture for now. And let's also start researching more civics here. Question is, do we want to start getting into our unique ones? I'm thinking maybe we get the Kuna for the science as well for now. Although, yeah, I think that's for now. That's okay. And of course, we can pick our Pantheon. So Pantheons have been changed a bit. They're still very familiar, of course, based on the types of buildings you might have, or the types of surroundings you might have. But a lot of them are now based around the altar, which is essentially the religious or the culture building early on. And so I'm thinking we get God of Wisdom, +1 science on quarters in settlements with an altar. That shouldn't be too bad. We of course have our unique quarter. And then we have the altar, which we can just place down somewhere as well. So real quick, quarters, and again, you can go to the Civilopedia up here if you need to, but quarters are essentially when 2 buildings from the same age occupy a tile. So as you saw before, when I placed that one building, the saw pit down here, you can see it later, and I'll show you guys real quick. You can see these 2 circles here. So you can actually place 2 buildings in a quarter at a time. So how you organize that is very helpful, and And creating quarters is really useful and necessary for the game. So I think what I'm going to do is take that science. We are playing a science game. And let's head up that ruin. Weary soldiers have been guarding a crumbling fort. They say they await orders, but months have passed without news or supply. Some fear they've been abandoned. Let's move on. Production or happiness? I say we take the production and just finish up that settler right away. And get ready to move our settler. Since we haven't met a civ yet, I don't really know if there's a particular spot that really we care to try to settle as of now. I say for now we head north. Meanwhile, back home, I'm kind of tempted to just keep making another settler, to be honest. We could also just get the altar. It'll start giving us some science as well based on our religion, especially if we put it with this sawmill right here. But I'm going to take the settler, I think, for now. All right, next turn. All right, let's get up on this hill here. And let's use our ability again. Search. What do your elf eyes see? Okay, so it looks like we got quite a few things we can hit up. I might have this guy go... I guess have this guy head this way. I'm not too sure. Yeah, let's go this way for now and loop over, I'm thinking. With this settler, let's keep moving up. And yeah, let's move towards the ruins over there. Meanwhile here, I say we grab that iron. So again, once we get this iron, I'll show you real quick. So once we get the iron here, we will have a mine there. And now in the resources, instead of being assigned to a city, this is called an empire resource. Essentially, this is a mix of luxury and strategic resources. Infantry units gain +1 combat strength because we have that 1 iron. So unlike Civ 6, where you had to get iron to actually produce the units, now iron acts as the way to kind of boost their ability, which I think is a pretty nice change and helps when you can't necessarily find iron as easily. Let's have this guy move over there, and we found Megiddo. They're a little hostile to us, so we'll definitely try to get out of there as quickly as we can. And let's grab that real quick. Scavengers picking through battlefield remains begin play fighting with rusted swords. Their form needs work, but the swings are solid. So for 5 gold, we can get a free warrior, or we can get free influence. I mean, a free warrior does sound pretty good, I have to say. So I think I'm going to go with, or not a free warrior, but a 5 gold warrior. Sounds pretty nice. I think I'm going to go with that for now. Okay. And so meanwhile, let me show you kind of how influence, one of the new resources, works. So influence is pretty important. You can use it to interact with both independent peoples as well as other civs. So when we click in here, you see we can befriend an independent. That's going to take some time. Right now, they don't like us. They're hostile towards us. But within 15 turns, they'll be friendly. And then by 30 turns, we'll become the suzerain of a brand new city-state. With this settler. I'm just going to take the recommendations for now. I think, again, we're just learning the game. This seems okay, I think. Cowlin, elephants, iron, all within range, so I'm not mad about that at all. I mean, I want this warrior. I want to go visit Teotihuacan there just so I can make sure I can become friendly with them as well. All right, let's now move our Jaguar Slayer up. Let's go this way just to get them a little bit separation. Manuscripts have been recovered from a collapsed archive, but ravages of time have left their secrets unintelligible. So we can either gain a boost to the earliest available technology for 3 turns of production, or we can just get gold. Ooh, a free tech. 3 turns of production sounds pretty good. I wonder how that works. You know what? Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. A boost to sailing. Okay, maybe not as good as I thought. I guess only 4 turns off for some production. And we'll see. Does this like delay our settler? Perhaps I don't know. We'll find out. Let's settle here. Zunan Tunic. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Meanwhile, here, I'm always partial to getting food early. I think always useful. All right, but real quick, actually, what we did here is settle our first town. So in the past, obviously, when you had a new settler create something, it would create a city automatically. But now we have towns, which are a little bit different. Essentially, you don't directly control a town quite yet. You can think of them as like a little settlement that's just getting their roots established. You can put gold into anything you want there, and eventually you can convert them into a city, which is your traditional, manage their production and everything type of thing. For now, I'm okay with that. I'm just going to grow. And so one of the big things is that their production is going to go towards gold. So obviously, for any town, food's going to be big, so you can keep expanding, and production is going to be useful just because it keeps giving you gold. Those elephants are mighty nice, but I'm thinking for now to just grab food to continue growing. Let's keep moving that warrior down. 999 turns. I hope it actually doesn't take that long. All right, so our first celebration. So once we have enough happiness, which you can kind of see here, I'm actually not sure how much happiness is needed for celebration. Let's see if we can find that out. So celebration unlocks a tradition slot. Additionally, civs experiencing a celebration can select one of 2 duration-based buffs. Each one's going to cost more than the last. It doesn't say, I think, how much it costs, which is fine. Not a big deal. I say we go for the science for now. And let's get science and production. I am not mad about that. Let's keep moving this guy over. And, you know what? Let's try this jaguar trap. Let's put it here near Megiddo and see what happens. You know, with this warrior, let's move him downwards.
The spoken word conquers all thought, but the written word commands it.
Strange figures garnish the fig tree bark as the Maya scribe records the world in symbols by torchlight. The people gather around, each offering an account of their own to immortalize. I think since we have a lot of science, the culture is going to be a little more meaningful for us. Let's do that. The library is stocked, and all citizens may read what they like. Well, to a point. Franklin has carefully curated what is available to match what his people need. So you can see here, this is a Ben Franklin related event. I believe these come up based on your civ, your leader. And so what's going to happen here is we'll get a little boost, and then we can also get a quest. And that quest essentially is just something for us to work towards, and I think gives us a little bit of a boost. So I'm thinking build a garden or build a monument. What seems right for us here? We can probably... I think we haven't researched either irrigation or masonry. They're both up for grabs for us here. I feel like I kind of like the garden more for now. We definitely need some food, I think. And the +1 settlement limit, which I'll get into actually now, is pretty nice for us. So +1 settlement limit. So up here, you'll see a settlement limit. You can still expand beyond this number, but essentially, if you're over that number, you take a happiness penalty, and it just makes it harder to manage your cities, and eventually they could revolt. So let's go with the garden, get some additional science. Meanwhile here, let's move a tile, and then let's search. Okay, found a cairn over there. And we've also found a new continent. Okay, very cool, very cool. They're attacking our scout, so I'm just going to run this guy away. Let's see what happens if maybe they land on that. Oh, but looks like we've met Machiavelli, the Mac. Where did we meet him? Oh, there, right there. So we've met Machiavelli. Looks like he's to the north of us, so good call on expanding north. Good job, James. Let's meet the next civilization here.
In qual modo potrete voi servire me? Intendete, in qual modo potrei essere io al servizio vostro?
Something I've noticed and I really like when you first meet the leaders now, they do have some funny stuff, which I think is pretty fun. So real quick, when you first meet, now you have three different options. You can have friendly, neutral, or hostile. They'll affect your relationship, and of course, with the friendly greeting, you can also see where their capital is. So let's check out where their capital might be. Okay, Athenai's pretty north of us, so for now, I think I'm just gonna keep trying to expand north, but not super close, honestly. So I'm gonna keep going south for now. So Machiavelli wants to start a local festival together. Local festival is essentially an endeavor. I'll show you guys shortly what that means. But we can basically spend some influence to support the action. We can just accept it for free and we gain +2 influence per turn. Or we can block it if we want to become enemies. I think I'm fine taking the influence for now. But why don't we take this time to kind of show you some of the different interactions we can perform here. So here we have treaties, which are essentially just high-level diplomatic actions, open borders, improving trade relations. And then we have endeavors. Endeavors are essentially kind of what you saw just now, running festivals, sending aid, helping each other's research. And then, of course, we have sanctions and later on espionage. But sanctions are, denouncing them, hindering them in some sort of way. I think I'm okay not doing anything. Obviously, I don't even have enough influence. But let's also take a look at some of these screens. You can see your relationship level, as well as looks like they've met someone else already. You can see what kind of government they chose, as well as their different abilities. I won't dive into this now. I think that's going to be a lot. Looks like we got a warning that there is a defenseless settlement. Looks like we have some people from two different groups coming towards us. I might just get a Holche, just because it doesn't hurt to have some more protection for now. Always use protection. And let's move this warrior over. And let's keep... I'm not going to run the Jaguar away. Let's also just explore this area, just see what we have here. And let's move this guy down here to see Teotihuacans. They are scientific people. I think that's why we started off friendly with them, because we're also scientific. And looks like Tyre has entered our borders. Let's fling at him. Pew pew. Let's also expand our borders here. I say we grab the elephants. Meanwhile, at Bach, so it looks like we just finished another settler. I'm going to say for now we keep expanding north and get as close to Machiavelli as we can here. And then in Bach, I think we just keep investing in science potentially. But do we need anything else? A brickyard or a granary? Brickyard might not be bad. We have a quarter, but it's not super necessary quite yet, I think. Or do we just get another settler? I did put research into... Oh, no. Irrigation gives us settle... Yeah, so we're gonna get an additional settlement limit. So I think let's work on the settler for now. I'm okay just doing that and saving some money. Farmers have noticed that evening temperatures are perfect for the grapes that grow here. If they were to establish a vineyard, the vine would flow for miles and miles. So either this becomes a wine resource, which doesn't really help us because that's really far, or we can get production. I think we just take the production. Let's also just clear out the fog of war here. And let's move the warrior here for now, just see if there's anything there. Nope. I think I might start sending the warrior just to explore a little bit over there soon. So they're attacking our city. That's fine. Pew pew. Get out of here. Let's also move a tile, and let's search again. See if we can find anything. Okay, looks like we've met. All right, Confucius. I think we just saw his borders anyway, so I'm okay without being nice to him. He's also a science bro. You know what? Science bros for life. Let's do this. I played Confucius in my first game. That was pretty cool. Let's explore that last little area. And I actually don't know if I want to go here. I don't know if there's anything too useful. It looks like a lot of red. So I don't even know if... Guess I could get a lot of cotton there. I'm okay with that. Oh, so one other nice thing, and I'm just going to move my settler into danger here, as you can, just so you can see. One new thing that they kind of did is now settlers have their own health. So it's not like in the past where, you know, if you had a guy run into your settler, they were doomed. Now they can actually take damage and survive a couple hits before they're eliminated. So let's hit next turn and see what happens. Yep. So they went for the attack there. We lost 30 health, but it's okay. Our Hulche is going to finish the job. You know what, let's use the settler just to explore this little area. We'll move the Hulche there as well. Meanwhile, these guys, let's move them this way. This warrior, let's move him up. And I'm cool to just keep having this Jaguar guy move there. Oh, another Civ we've met.
Ich bin Carolus, Schalenmanja geheißen. Managü andere walden mit Sverdo. Ich aber walder durch Gottes Gnaden sammelt Sverta.
Yeah, so again, a little bit of humor there. It's pretty funny. I think I'm just going to go neutral. I want to save some influence for now, I think. And we also saw his city borders, so not too concerned with, you know, trying to find out where he is. Uh-oh. Alright, I guess we're moving this settler away. The Hulche. Pew pew. And then, let's just leave random traps around the map. Why not? See if, maybe we can have people land on them. I guess I'll just keep having this guy go north again. Making some progress on Megiddo there. And I'm just going to bring him back in case, and also to check out this area with the Hulche, I think.
All alone the sky exists. The face of the earth has not yet appeared.
Alright, so we can get +1 science on vegetated terrain in cities. I think that's probably better than that one, because we have a lot of vegetation around here, so that's pretty useful for us. Alright, looks like we're getting a full-on attack here from Megiddo and Tyre. Okay, that's fine. They'll pay for this. And let's expand our borders further here. I'm thinking we get this, like a nice distribution of tiles. Also helps us explore that area a little bit, see where Tyre might be, and maybe we eliminate them. If he just wants open borders, I think I'm okay with that. Just because he's really far away, not like he's gonna really settle close to us. You know, knock on wood. Oh, famous last words, right? Let's also head towards discipline, because I think Code of Laws is a really important one. You want to get merchants here in order to unlock more resources and whatnot. And I think this is actually a good time to start explaining legacies, which are something maybe I should have dove into a little bit earlier. So legacies are essentially the different play styles you can have, the different focuses you might have, and you can think of them almost as like mini victories, mini objectives for you to try to reach within any age. So here we have culture, military, science, and economic. Obviously, we're going to be playing a more scientific play style. And so what we're going to want to do, and let's actually track this. What we're going to want to do is reach the writing 2 technology and build a library in one of our cities. And over time, we're going to build academies and have our great people create codices, which essentially give us more science and whatnot. But you can actually dive into all of the different legacies if you want. And anytime you reach one of these milestones, it essentially gives you legacy points, which are carried over into future ages. You can see here the status of everyone and how they're kind of doing. And so with these different legacy points, one, it just helps you build up in the future, gives you legacy for, you know, those attributes that we saw before, and also unlocks different abilities and boosts that you might be able to use later on. And so, yeah, I think it's generally a good idea to just have an idea of what each legacy is, what you need to do for each of them. And again, you can kind of just dive into any of them without any real consequences or anything like that. And if anything, it's really useful to at least hit one of these different milestones to get different boosts. So yeah, I think that's pretty much legacies. Let's hit next turn, or sorry, let's do our next action here. Keep exploring with our Jaguar there. Now let's have him explore that way. And I think I'll hit next turn.
The essence of all beings is the earth. The earth water, the water plants, plants man, and man speech.
Yeah, I don't know why these guys are so mad at me, but I'm attacking. I'm going to keep having you go over there, and I'm just going to bring this guy up. Let's get writing 2, since that was one of our prerequisites for the science victory, or the science legacy here. And we'll keep exploring upwards. But these guys will head this way. This looks like a pretty big land mass. So we'll see how things go here. Next turn. Wow. City's getting pretty damaged here, so definitely need to get rid of those guys ASAP. Alright, so for now, I say we get the library just to continue progressing. As you can see, you can get different yields from putting it on different tiles. A lot of that does come from adjacency bonuses. So you can see here, by default, the library is going to give 2 science, as well as 1 science for each adjacent wonder. But then we're here because of adjacency to, you know, for example, the vegetation and whatnot. Seems like a good spot to put it with that sawmill there. And let's use our elf eyes again. Okay. There. So we go north here. Where to expand with this guy? I'm thinking around here seems like a good okay for one. But I think that's low priority since I don't think anyone's going to be coming up on our territory there quite yet. So I'm thinking maybe we get as close to Megiddo here as we can. With this guy, I guess with this guy we can just start expanding towards this area down here. Okay, let's take out that. Oh, still can't kill him. Attack. Keep exploring. Is this another civ? No, I don't think so. Go north. Yeah, let's maybe go here as close as possible to Megiddo. Okay, alright, looks like he didn't try to attack the city, so I am fine with that. Let's move that Halche up, explore this area a little bit. And Bach has grown, I think. I don't know, I'm just gonna keep taking science, I guess. I don't know. Or maybe head towards the incense. That gives us plus 10% science, which, you know, not a ton, but still nice. Still nice. Let's do that. Let's get this fishing boat here. Keep moving this guy over. Alright, looks like we finally have hit the other side of the landmass. Keep going north with him. Ooh, a little mountain thing. This would be a classic science district there in Civ 6. And we'll keep moving this guy down. Oh, that's a little
The
dangerous.
spoken word conquers all thought.
So, a little scary. Could I lose this settler? This is why you should always protect your guys. Tires over there. Okay, maybe we can eliminate them. I'm going to... I think we're okay. I'm going to go there. Hopefully we're okay. All right, so because we are progressing in science, looks like we got a scientific attribute point. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So do we want 25% towards tech masteries or towards constructing buildings? I think we gotta take the buildings. After years of diligent study, one priest has recorded the ritual movements of the stars into folded bark paper book, studying the patterns of Chak-ek and how this great star rises and falls in balance with the sun could predict the prosperity of future events. So again, this seems like a Maya-specific event. Do we want a codex or happiness? Let's take the codex because I think it's useful for our science legacy. And so codexes are a great work. Oh, we actually already have a codex. And so yeah, so essentially they slot in like old great works and give you a boost. And through the ages, the codexes you can get or the great works you can get are going to change. Meanwhile here, let's just finish up that sailing real quick. 2 turns, so we'll unlock a couple more things down the line. Let's just keep moving this guy up. We found retinue. And we'll go, I guess, this way. See, our progress is here. 1 turn from being friendly with Megiddo. Okay. And, yeah, let's hit next turn. Please. Oh, wait. Alright. I think I'm okay settling here for it to call. And another guy's coming up here, so I'm going to make a Hulche just to make sure we protect our lands. Let's also expand. I think we expand this way for now, just so, what's his name? Teotihuacan there doesn't get it. And it looks like they're a little unfriendly with us because we settled closer to them. Tough. Tough. But anyway, let's expand towards that. Uh-oh. Alright, this might have been a poor choice. This might have been a poor choice. It's okay. Move that guy down. And start chipping away at Tyre over there. Who's near Bach? Oh, those guys, I guess. Yeah. Can't display a codex quite yet. That's fine. We'll try to make a... Once that library is done, we should be okay. Let's keep exploring with him. And move them up there. Looks like we met yet another civ. Okay, so this is the populated landmass, I think.
Ego Octavianus Augustus Caesar, humilis primus civis, et princeps orbis terrarum.
I think I'm fine just with a neutral greeting. It's gotta be somewhere up there, right? I'm not sure, but I have a lot of space here, so I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, looks like they also left us alone there, so I'm gonna go ahead and settle real quick. Let's grab that food and production, always useful. And, let's move that sheep over to Bach, just to consolidate and make Bach a super city for now. And I think we'll hit next turn.
The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea.
Alright, I think this is probably where we're going to end for today. Thank you so much if you made it all this way. Of course, want to give another thank you to the fine folks at 2K and Firaxis for sponsoring this video and sending me a copy of the game. Again, comes out February 11th. If you like this, definitely check out the game. I've been having a blast personally, and I think it's one of the most complete first editions of a Civ game that we've had. And yeah, of course, if you enjoyed, please consider clicking some of those buttons down below. And, as always, have a great rest of your day. Peace.